You are now listening to The Art of Reinvention by TeflonJohn, where my goal is to inspire you mentally, physically, financially, and spiritually. And I just want to help you grow the garden of your mind. I just want to change the world one person at a time by giving them motivational advice, inspirational advice. And right now, I'm glad that you're tuning in to the podcast show. So we want you to sit back, open up your mind, and just absorb all the content. Please share this content across all of your social media platforms as it will help this show grow. Sit back and enjoy. One love. Be blessed. Art of Reinvention show. And today we got a power pack show. We got my man Jalen Randolph, aka Jiggy M.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Like, he's giving us access in the studio. It's really behind the scenes, man. This is a young black brother in the city that's doing some great things, man. He could be out here dumbing out, doing drugs, or just wilding out, man. But he's really out here reaching the kids. So I'm gonna let him tell you all about himself.
Yeah, I'm Jalen Randolph. I go by Jiggy M. I'm CEO of my own company, HILIF LLC. It's an acronym for Here I Live in Fun, and we reach the youth through creative modern creative music. So I sell and I make children's educational music. I also do comedy, and I do all my production as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to music, man, like, that's a selfless, not selfish, but a selfless choice, man, to really make music for kids. Why make music for kids when you could be, you know what I'm saying, with the twerk videos and all that? Mm-hmm.
Yo, I mean, it happened by accident. I was approached, courtesy of Tony Cam. He linked me with the people of the Lynchburg Community Market, and they were like, they want a song for their campaign that they're kicking off. We got the beats. I was happy to do something where it was just me making a song. Like, I always wanted to just do a project to where it was just like me make the beat, I'm rapping on it, and see where it goes. So
ownership.
Yeah, I just took it and I ran with it, and then I saw the change. I saw exactly what it did. It developed a moment for these kids, which I feel like is the coolest part about the whole entire thing, is that these kids all shared a moment, and not only that, the knowledge that was put into them. And I'm like, what? I just did this by accident. I got kids looking at me saying my lyrics back to my face when I legit wrote these lyrics on my lunch break at work. You feel what I'm saying? So when I saw the power that your words have, I was like, yo, there's no other way to go. Like, this is an open lane. Nobody's taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have all this whack, old school children's music out. Why not give them something, especially where, like, the black kids can relate to, you feel what I'm saying?
Our
the
kids.
hip-hop.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, man, because I think now, and I would say that we live in the era of puppetry, you know what I mean? Really, to where you could take your influence, like your words, from right here, and have hundreds of kids saying it, moving the way you want them to move.
Exactly.
And, you know, I appreciate you and I applaud you, man, for using that in a positive influence. How did it feel when you knew the power in your pen or pencil or just words that whatever you do or say, kids could do that? How did that change the way you write music?
Oh, man, that blew my mind right there. I think that's one thing that blows your mind. And I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of rappers, don't understand that fact, is how much, like, your words can motivate a kid to do something. I remember seeing this little kid. His name is Quadir Gray. we were on the second shoot of We Got the Beats. We did it in 2 days. And on the second shoot, I'm sitting there. I have a scene where it's a whole lot of kids around me. They got the mascot and everything. I'm just sitting there rapping it, performing it out. And then I look down at this little kid, and he's looking at me straight in my face, saying every single lyric, rapping with me. And I'm like, wait, this is crazy. Because, like, the song was only debuted probably like 5 times to the kids. So for him to grasp all those within that 5 times is, like, just insane. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, I also saw the interview that followed when we did that second shoot. We got the people from WSET down there to interview us and everything. And then I saw the rerun of it, and it was Quadir Gray, little Quadir Gray. They interviewed him, And it's like he just started saying the lyrics, like like he held on to those lyrics. He was even saying them in the interview, like
you a little bit.
And it was like, whoa, like, it's power behind your words.
Yeah, and I think it's power behind the culture, because if you look at it, one of my friends, Brandon Fleming, they left from here to go to Atlanta to teach at Ron Clark Academy. And one thing Ron Clark Academy uses is hip hop, modern day culture to teach. And these kids are like great debaters. You know what I'm saying? They're at the top of their class. So how do you think, like, current teaching styles or current school systems can implement different cultures into teaching these kids? Being that if he learns your lyrics in like two times hearing it, imagine if you can do that with algebra, English, social studies,
which is such a crazy topic. And I remember I say this to everybody when we sit down and we discuss it. Like, I don't remember. Especially me, I was one of those kids that was always drawing in class. Always had my head down, I was drawing. I wasn't really talking to people. I could not remember what I was lectured. I couldn't remember what I had to read. But I always knew the lyrics to my favorite song. Right. See, like, especially, and not only that, which I noticed is that, especially being a young black kid, I was looking up to these rappers. You feel what I'm saying? You always look up to a positive black male role model, and especially I know with my generation, we don't really have our fathers whatsoever. So that's somebody to look up to.
You're right.
So why not give them a positive influence to look up to? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of being the stereotypical rapper, like try to teach these kids something, is because they can hold on to that for their whole entire lifetime. And not only that, here's this crazy fact I learned when I was in Atlanta. I was on my phone just scrolling, and I found out that only 2% of teachers are black males. 2% of teachers.
I didn't have any coming up, man.
Exactly, right? I had like one substitute. That's about it.
Yeah.
And not only that, I feel like there's a cool that comes along with that. They interviewed the students of the black teachers. They were like, they would much rather prefer him to be a teacher. The black teachers said in their interviews that it's less pressure. The kids are a lot cooler with you. You can mess up and they won't judge or anything. And not only that, they're more open to you, is because they see you as more of, like just a cooler male figure to look up to. So I feel like that's something we need to promote. We need more black male teachers.
And I think it's crazy because as you grow up, I'm 34. You were
22.
22. All right. So even coming up before me, you know what I'm saying, society teaches you, man, especially being a black male, like, so you have the fatherless homes. Then if you are a black male in the home, then the pressure is great for you to provide. Oh, yeah. So a lot of people, man, like being the teachers don't make money. I think they go after the bread-winning jobs, you know what I mean? And then it's like you're providing, but the father's not there. Thus creates an atmosphere for fatherless and father homes, to where these kids are, like you said, they're looking at entertainers, you know what I mean? But what do you think we could do, like with your music or other influences, to let kids know that it's more than there's more in your future than like entertainment, football, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do as African American community to promote more possibilities to our youth?
I feel like that's just with us building wealth within our community.
Yeah.
I think that's the big thing that stops most of that makes our kids turn to that, is about showing what wealth in our community is, and which is something I hope to build. Is because I wouldn't want my kid to follow in my footsteps and be like an entertainer or anything like that. I want my kid to be whatever he wants to. I want him to have options. You know what I'm saying? I notice people who come from richer families, a couple of my friends who come from richer families who end up being white, they have trust funds. They have money to fall back on. They have money to where it's like, all right, son, I can pay something for you to where you can try this out. And if it doesn't work, hey, it's okay. You can still come work at my business or something like that until you get on your feet. I feel like as black males, we aren't given that many options. That's why we resort to being in the streets. That's why we resort to, I got to be good at sports. It's because there's no options. Like,
and then I think it's on the financial end to really get into what you want to do. Because like when you're young, you really dream with your eyes closed. I think as a kid, we all live like blindly. Because you can look at something, that's my car. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. To where it's something that's far-fetched. But then it's like at some age you realize, man, it's going to take all this. Mom just barely here now. She working 2-3 jobs. We can barely eat. And so I think that's why you look for the big, quick, like, look, man, I'm good at this, so let me go. Versus now, and I think what we should be teaching our youth is how you can use yourself and leverage that. So whether you get into music to buy real estate, you know what I'm saying? You get into music to create more businesses, you know what I'm saying? Build a hospital, build banks, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, man, like, you seem like a very sharp brother, man, not just your typical rapper, and that's what I love, man. So we want to dive into it, man. You know, I've learned a lot about you, and to a lot of people that see you now, you're a very bright brother, you know what I'm saying? You smile a lot, but I heard that you dealt with some bouts of depression.
Oh, yeah.
Could you go into that?
I think that's one of the biggest things I deal with. I mean, just the stresses with life. Growing up, not really having that, you know, that role model to look up to. Not only that, having my mom deal. I mean, she's a single mother raising 2 kids. She's constantly getting sick, in and out of the hospital. I mean, it's just sometimes, you know, when you fall into those lows, it's hard to get up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember because I ended up dropping out of college 3 times. And that just took a toll on me, you feel what I'm saying? It's because it's like, I feel like, especially when you come out of high school, you're pressured to go into college. So I was just going with it, you know, going in, doing these things blindly. Nobody telling me about student loans. Nobody teaching me the ins and outs about being smart with your money in order to get where you want to go.
Yeah.
So then, like, just ended up accumulating debt and stuff like that. And I mean, it just hit me. It's because it's like I'm in a rut and I don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to turn to the streets. It's because I've seen how what happens. It's because my stepdad ended up doing a bid for like 10 years off of stuff like that. So I've seen that constantly. So just being in that funk and feeling like there's no way out. So I know I used to always dive to music. That would be one way to get me out of it. This is one particular artist, Childish Gambino. That's like my idol. I swear to God, if I meet him, I'll freak out like some 16-year-old white girl type stuff. I swear I'll lose it. It's because I don't know, his words have spoken to me, and just the way he deals with stuff, it's totally relatable. Yeah. That's one other way I feel like I'm really effective too, is because I'm really relatable with the kids.
So. And music is powerful in that right, man. Because like I said, I went through a lot of silent bouts of depression, man. Like, you know, being in high school, you know, losing our house and just watching everything being taken away from me, man. Exactly. And I remember days just wanted to give it up. You know what I'm saying? Contemplating suicide. You know, silently planning it. You know, thinking about doing it. And I remember DMX was one of my favorite artists. Man, I love raw music, and the way that it was meant. You know what I mean? And I love art, like music is art. And DMX had a song called Slippin'. And it was just a vulnerable song where he was talking about falling back into addiction. And, you know, I just remember how that song resonated in me, like when he said, I got to get back on my feet so I can tear it up. And that's really what, you know, what life is about. And I think that it's easy for someone to stay depressed when you don't realize the value in your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you engage in a boxing match, you already know. You got to go the distance. Yeah. And you may lose a couple rounds here and there, but knowing the purpose of it, you know what I'm saying? Knowing the end result. Exactly. And now you see how your end result could be connected to flipping it and providing for your mom like she provided for you. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I do like my show. I got other businesses that I do, man. Yeah. And that's why I push, because my end goal is really bigger than the problem that I'm going through.
That's so true. That's so true. I feel that tenfold, man. I feel like self-worth is something that can really be like instilled, especially within our community and our culture. It's because, I mean, like, I know Kanye, you know, he talks about it in When It All Falls Down. Man, I promise, I'm so self-conscious. That's why you always see me with at least one of my watches. I feel like we've drove to, and that's why money is gone within the black communities, because we've thought buying valuable things makes our self-worth. You know, builds the worth within ourselves. When that's not the case whatsoever, it's self-worth.
You use the money to fill that void.
Exactly, and then the money goes away. Where are you at? You back in the same rut.
And I believe, man, that it's not I think the problem with the black community, as far as like entertainment and how we do it, we don't value the money. Like our value system, Jack, that we value the items. So we'll take money as soon as we get it, and the money doesn't mean anything, and so we'll buy a car that'll depreciate in value within 3 years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what most other people do is they value money. You know what I'm saying? The items, they keep flipping the money, turning the money over, investing the money. What we do, I think, as the black community, we want to own pocketbooks, nice handbags, watches, shirts, clothes, and we're putting somebody else's label on our back, not realizing that we're invested in that company and not even invested in our own vision.
Yeah.
So for me to do this show with you, I had to put out some money and buy. If not, that shows I don't believe in myself.
Exactly.
Self-belief, I'm pretty sure you had to sacrifice sometimes. Was like, new shoes, or should I get a mic?
Exactly.
New shoes, or do I buy this, whatever I need to put out my music? But I think that the culture is so screwed up. And if you look at some of your big businesses, right? If you look at Apple, if you look at Gatorade, if you look at Pepsi, if you look at all these big brands, they market to us with hip-hop music in the background. And so you're working $8, $9 an hour, and you're getting a check $200-$300 every week, and you're taking half of that and going to buy instead of investing that back in yourself.
Exactly.
If you know what I'm saying, if you don't invest back in yourself, it's crazy because so many people have a talent or a gift, and until you unlock that talent or gift and invest back in it, you can make money to do whatever you want. But if you're going to take the money that you're making and give it right back, that's hustling backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that. I
Hustling backwards.
agree with that 100%. I mean, I put a lot on the line for this, you feel what I'm saying? I put a lot of trips, a lot of money within it, and you just gotta value what you value. I don't get the check and then spend it all on clothes and stuff like that. I don't even like Jordans. I think they're overhyped for real. I'll be good with some old beat up Vans that I've been wearing for like 3-4 years. I mean, they still, they on my feet, right? You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I totally feel you on that.
And it's all status, man. And I think coming up, I think the kids now, man, have it harder than anybody else, man. Just due to the fact that we didn't have that pressure coming up. Because I know you're 22, my cameraman, my cousin, he's in his 20s. So it's different for you guys, but we didn't have social media when I came up. Yeah. I think MySpace was popping when I graduated.
But, really? So
imagine being that girl in 10th grade who wants to be that one, or that dude that wants to be the one who doesn't have the clothes and everything and the selfies. Then that depression sets in because you're not being accepted. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you're spending this money not really because you like it or value it. You just want to be accepted and liked.
Yeah, and I think one thing I really want to be able to convey is because I feel like that was one of my goals. I feel like that's what I was set on earth to do, to help people through hard times. That's why I make comedy. That's why I make rap. That's why I rap the way I do, so you smile when you hear it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To bring people out of that depth, and I want everybody to know you're a diamond. You shine. I feel like when you can realize it's just yourself, that I don't need to put this in order, I don't need to wear this in order to shine. It's just me. You could do so much more. You could do so much more when you realize that fact. And I feel like sometimes I feel like I need to be the poster child for people to realize that. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta. Everybody's a diamond, man. Yeah. You gotta shine, though.
And like you said, it's self-worth, so it's up to you to realize that. You know what I mean? And
that's a big thing.
And I just think some people, when they leave the house, they don't have anybody telling them at a young age that you're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Young man, you're handsome. So what happens is you go out here and you look for somebody to validate that.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's, it could be somebody taking advantage of you physically. You know what I mean? It's somebody that could be taking advantage of a young male, telling him he's cute just to get their money out of him. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, right, man. So, we're just talking to Jalen, man. Like I say, man, you're great brother, man. I believe that you have a lot of insight, man. I believe that you're going to empower the youth. But going back to you saying that, you want people to notice and be self-aware, that you believe everybody is a diamond. And I believe that your music does it, man. So tell me about what's going on now with your music. I know you mentioned that you started a business with the jingles.
Yes, man. I started a business. This has been something I've been saying ever since I was a kid. It's pronounced High Life, HILIF. It's an acronym here. I live in fun. You don't need drugs to be high. You just can be high off life and have a good time. Word. And that was one of the key mottos I held when I was really getting out of depression. It was just something that I gravitated towards. So I decided to name that the company, and it's just using creativity to teach the youth and make them feel good. Especially with my music, my music is deeper than the lyrics. It's deeper than the sounds. It's a feeling. See, one genre that I've always loved and I've always respected is reggae. It's because reggae, as soon as you hear it, you know, you start bouncing, and then you start smiling. You hear that good bass line and everything.
Move through your body.
Yeah, it's that feeling. So I try to convey that feeling in my music. That'll make you smile. That'll make you laugh. That'll make you get up and dance. Like that's the feeling that I'm going through the music. It all starts with the music, and then everything builds around it as far as the visuals, which I hold really dear too, is because I edit all my music videos.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I actually want to get into like making movies and comedies and stuff like that. So I take that part extremely serious.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's dope, man. How you using a platform that you really could be selfish with, man, and just do what everyone else is doing, make money quick. But I applaud you for that, man. Like by taking the left where everyone else went right, and actually using your platform to empower people. And truly, man, that's what it's really about, is using your platform for something that can really help a lot of people. Like, people are hurting, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are prideful and they're not saying they're hurting. And you're seeing that, you're seeing the results of it with school shootings in public places, suicides. So tell me, man, about more about what you just recently done. My old high school. I think you're doing the jingle for EC
man,
Glass.
that's my old high school too. Yeah, I ended up talking to the people at EC Glass, and that's going to be my next project. I'm making a jingle for them, along with 4 educational comedic skits. They have a campaign that they're starting off. It's 4 rules. It's their mission statements, like we're climbing to success, using tips and tools to show respect, be safe, and be educated and be responsible. Basically transitioning kids from coming into middle school and preparing them for adulthood, which high school really does for people.
Yeah, man. Hey, I applaud you for that, man. I know I keep saying it, but you really don't see a lot of kids, you know what I'm saying, a lot of young adults doing what you're doing, especially in our community, man. Because one thing I hate about the news, man, and this is one of the reasons partially why I do this show. You got brothers like Jalen Randolph, brothers like myself, doing positive things in the community, but we cannot get any coverage in the city. But as soon as there's a shooting or something like that, man, it's on the news 24/7. You see what I'm saying? And so we got brothers like this, and that's what I'm going to continue to do, is use part of my platform to highlight that, man. So how does it feel knowing that going back to you starting your business, going back to you fighting depression, how does it feel to actually know that everything that you went through in life is now actually helping to empower the youth, a new generation?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. I try not to think about it too hard, just because, that'll build a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, it kind of takes you a little bit, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, I break it down as simple. Like, I got to make a good quality project. I got to make sure that this is... I'm competing with myself. I'm not competing with nobody else. I'm not trying to battle out any of these artists who are popping right now. I give all respects to them. I like the Migos. I like some of their songs and stuff like that. Like, I love hearing new flavors and new genres of music, but at the end of the day, it's about me battling myself and pushing myself. And all the cards that life has handed me, I had to step up at an early age. I had to take over when my mom was sick. I had to take care of myself. So there's nothing but me pushing myself and just showing people that you have the ability to push yourself. I feel like a lot of people think that they don't have that ability. They feel like, oh, I'm just going to give into it. Oh, I'm just going to keep going into the same cycle. Like, nah, you're able to motivate and push yourself. And when you can tap into that, I mean, it's golden after that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But it's all worth it at the end.
Got you, man. So when it comes to people that want to hear your music, man, people that want to get in touch with you, how can they do that, and how can they follow you?
Follow me on everywhere. Jiggy M, Instagram at Jiggy M Official. Look me up on YouTube, Jiggy M. You'll see all my stuff. Facebook at Jiggy M Official. Snapchat at Jiggy M Comedy. And yeah, Twitter too. I'm barely on Twitter, but I mean, if you want to throw a follow my way, go ahead. It's at Jiggy M Official. And yeah, I mean, you can keep up with everything. Constantly updated. I upload to my Snapchat probably, especially my Instagram, Snapchat, at least 3 times a day. Post a video at least 2 to 3 times a week on Instagram and Facebook. I'm constantly updated, so you'll constantly see me move.
Word. Okay, man. Hey, it was a pleasure having you, man, on the Art of Reinvention show. And as you can see, listening to Jalen's backstory, man, like, he actually had to reinvent himself. He actually took what he went through used that as fuel, man. It kind of reinvented itself and it's pushed them to new levels with starting a business and impacting a youth that was at the age of what, when you were going through, right?
Yeah.
So you were actually pushing these guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I say, man, anybody who's going through anything right now, battling depression, just hang in there. Using Jiggy M as a great example that you can do it. You can overcome and take that and use it as fuel. And my only advice to you, man, is like you said, I was going to tell you, is no competition with anyone.
But yourself.
Yeah. So my homework to you, brother, is just be a better Jiggy M than you were yesterday.
You already know,
and
man.
if you do that daily, man,
every day,
hey, we going to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
look, man, it's a pleasure to have you. I'm going to see you at the top.
You
as always
know.
say, one love, be blessed. We would like to thank you for listening to this episode of The Art of Reinvention by TeflonJohn. And we encourage you to share this episode across all your social media platforms. And we also encourage you to visit our website at www.imteflonjohn.com and follow us on all our social media platforms at facebook.com/realteflonjohn, twitter.com/realteflonjohn, and instagram.com/realteflonjohn. And while you're on Facebook, go ahead and like our page so you can receive first-hand notifications every time we go live with the motivational video or any motivational content. And as I always say, one love, be blessed.